Hello there, beautiful. Welcome to the trailer for Season 3 of Positive Changes, a Self-Kick podcast. I'm your host, Shelley F. Knight, and I'm author of Positive Changes, a Self-Kick book, and Good Grief, the A to Z approach of modern-day grief healing, which is out in September 2021. Can you believe the show is 1 year old? It started back in March 2020, just me, a microphone, and my book, Positive Changes, a Self-Kick book. We were just a few episodes in when you beautiful listeners reached out and wanted to come and share your own stories of positive change and the tools you use to do so. We then had Season 2 of 50 inspirational stories of positive change, and Season 3 will be just as inspiring. In Season 3, I have cried over a story of suicide.
If you are someone who has lost someone to suicide, please know that it had nothing to do with you, and it's not about you. There wasn't anything that you could have done to rescue them. It's wholly, entirely upon them finding that moment of bravery in the most dire of situations. And part of letting them live in peace in the afterlife would be to live in peace in your life.
I also asked so many questions about mediumship and the afterlife.
There is an afterlife. Now that sounds really kind of funny or silly, but there are people that I've encountered that go, well, I don't know if there's an afterlife. So that is probably the number one lesson that those in spirit want grieving loved ones to know. I'm here, I'm in a different level of consciousness, but I'm absolutely fine, and I'm still right there with you.
I absolutely loved the resilience as I learned about the ongoing mental health issues and the positive changes.
You know, every few months I had a recurrence of the lowest point in my life, and I could feel it coming. Like, you know, I'd have the deepest, darkest 2 months of my life where I'm thinking about ending my own life every day. I'm completely reclusive and shut in. And then I go into a period of mania and I'm like, I'm out of it. This is great. And then I feel that rumble like, oh no, I'm about to have the worst 2 months of my life again. And it happened like that in cycles for a decade. So it's difficult to tell somebody, like, when they ask what was the hardest part, I'm like, the hardest part was every 2 months for 10 years. It like kept happening like Groundhog Day.
A story of forgiveness showed so much gentleness.
We all come into this world as the pure beings, and then something happens to us with the experiences that we have in our life and the pain, and we mess up our lives so much. Like, it is so easy to do for some reason. Nobody just has a perfect life. We all make so many mistakes, and it's about forgiving yourself and letting go of the mistakes.
And oh my goddess, I have laughed so much with the story of spiritual growth.
Like, we went to a country park and there being like a squirrel there, and just feeling like a connection, and all the other kids were like just playing, and I was like in a zone with the squirrel.
In Season 3, we have even more inspirational stories to share. We're going to be looking at anxiety, marital affairs, overcoming alcoholism, sexual abuse, domestic violence, career changes, grief, suicide, spiritual awakening, body image, adoption, poverty, abandonment, self-worth, unhealthy eating, sexuality, visual impairment, and depression. Be sure to subscribe today so you're ready and waiting to create positive changes when we come back on Wednesday the 17th of March. You can subscribe in so many places, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, Deezer, TuneIn, and ListenNotes. And you can even subscribe and watch me and my lockdown routes on the Shelley F Knight YouTube channel. So subscribe today, your future self will thank you. I've been Shelley F Knight, and as always, you've been amazing.